So, hi, Scott Weatherford back. I'm glad you're back again for Life Group, and hope this has been a fun series. And we've come to the conclusion of this series, and next week we start a new one. So, I just want to kind of wrap up the first 11 chapters of Genesis because I find it to be fascinating. And we're going to pick up with chapter 12 starting next week in a new series called Knowing God's Faithfulness. So, the first 11 chapters of Genesis really help me understand the process of knowing God. Then, as you live all for Jesus, you'll discover how intentional God is and how consistent His Word is to guide us in all unrighteousness. Jesus came that we might have a life worth living, and thriving in the presence of God is dwelling in the power of the Holy Spirit. Now, allow me to recap the first 11 verses. So I think you might find this to be helpful. Here they are. Here's the first thing: God is real and He can be trusted. Okay. We live in God's creation. God is the creator. We're made in His image, that mankind is made to live in a community of unity, just like God. Obedience is the key to usefulness, to joy, and to blessing. That we reveal that we know God by obeying God. Next, Satan is real, but he's a defeated enemy. Third, sin is real, and we're all sinners. And sin has made a mess of things. Okay. Fourth, sex is God's idea, and He knows how best it's used. Now, we really didn't dive into that. We could have, but I didn't. But I want you to know that because it talks about intimacy and nakedness and not ashamed in Genesis. This is big, okay? There's one race, the human race, and racism is sinful. Next, Israel is God's chosen people to bring the promise of God to all nations, not in elitism or arrogance or entitlement, but chosen to be the people of God to bring the blessing of God through the descendants of Seth. God doesn't change. He's always in control. Our relationship with God is always by faith. It's not earned or deserved. It's by trusting and believing. And last thing, living all for Jesus is the only way to live. And that's a synopsis of the first 11 chapters of Genesis. And it sets in motion everything that goes on. Now, I could go on and on. It's a great reminder of God's redemption through Genesis 1 through 11. And as you look at this, I want you to pick out those kind of key truths and talk about how they've influenced you, what they mean to you in your life group. God is real. We can trust Him. We live in God's creation. We're made in His image. Obedience is the key to usefulness and joy. Satan is real. Sin is real. Sex is God's idea. One race, the human race. Israel is God's chosen people. God doesn't change. He's always in control. Our relationship with God is by faith, and living all for Jesus is the only way to live. So have a great discussion. I love you guys, and I can't wait for us to jump in the next series, Knowing God's Faithfulness. So hope this helps. God bless you.